Do 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 do. Guys, it's your boy Midnight coming to you live from the Midnight Cinema. Today, what do I have for you? A very special, phenomenal, so wonderful review. I cannot wait to dive into this movie. The story of Joseph Bologne, also known as the Chevalier de Saint George. Oh man, where do I begin with this movie? So, this movie, Chevalier. Oh, geez, I'm not even fully set up. Hold on, let me share. Let me share this other screen with you guys. Anyway, as I'm setting up. So, Chevalier tells the story of Joseph Bologne, who was the Chevalier de Saint George, right? And it's played by Kelvin Harrison. The movie also stars Samara Weaving, Lucy Boynton, and it's directed by Stephen Williams and written by Stephanie Robinson of Atlanta fame. Yes. And let me tell you, this movie is like that. I remember first seeing the trailer for it, and I was so hyped because I didn't know the story of Joseph Bologne. I had no idea. Didn't even know who the guy was. Had no idea who this guy was. Okay. And you know, one of my favorite actors working today, someone who I really would love to work with, Kelvin Harrison Jr., takes on the role of Joseph Bologne. And he's pretty much, he's considered black, to be the Black Mozart, essentially, right? And the story is about, pretty much about his, you don't see his full life, but a glimpse into, you know, his life, essentially. Yes, so here we go, finally. I always have to have my other screen up for this. So the story involves how he actually rose to fame and how he became a revolutionary at some point in time. He actually led the first all-black regiment in the French Revolution. And so when he was born to a white man and his black slave, and the his father had dropped him off and took him to this school in France, saying that he had a very unique talent. The school didn't want to take him at first because he's black, a Negro. Yeah, like what talent do they have? What? Then he plays the violin for him, shuts the guy up. And it's like, all right, he can attend the school, but he doesn't not go through school without his fair share of challenges. When his father drops him off, he tells him, he says, you know, always be excellent, because you can never tear down an excellent Frenchman. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you're just going to drop me off at the school and not be a dad, and, you know, you clearly hate the fact that I'm not white. That's the best advice you can give me. I'll take it. He got me. Always be excellent, right? Because no one can tear down an excellent Frenchman. You can take that anywhere in life. Now, it doesn't even have to be Frenchman. You know, always be excellent, because no one can tear down an excellent individual. Boom, there it is. Just be excellent all the time. So, and he excelled in everything from violin to fencing. And, you know, Kelvin, actually, I saw a couple of interviews with him, and he was saying that he actually had to practice. Like, he grew up in a family of musicians, but violin, I think, was somewhat new to him. So he actually had to practice 6 hours a day, 7 days a week for 5 months. I'm not going to lie to you. That's some serious dedication. I was joking with my parents the other day, and then I was like, listen, if I have to learn something like crazy for a role, I'm here for it. I don't care. I will learn Like, I know I want to be in a bunch of westerns. I would love to put me on a horse. I will learn. I will learn their horse. I will learn their horseback ride. I will lasso, rope, everything. I will learn it all. Like, I'm not kidding. I want to be as authentic as possible. So, and I love that he took that route in his ability. I mean, he killed it. But back to the story. I know I'm jumping everywhere, but this movie oozes greatness. Just greatness. So, you know, he's friends with Marie Antoinette. He actually meets her at this his fencing championships between him and this other like higher ranked individual from a different school, and his good friend Philippe. He's rooting for him, like, you can do this, and he takes the guy on. The other school, they're just like, there's an infestation, there's a pest that's trying to infiltrate, and they do not look like us, and all this other thing. Man, he shuts them down like it's not a game. He made Darth Vader look like a child. Like, that's how he was. Man, it was amazing. It was great. That was something else I always wanted to learn how to do, was fence. It's a great sport. So he wins that, and that's how he becomes the Chevalier. Becomes friends with Marie Antoinette. They hang out at a couple parties, meets some different people. Eventually, he meets this other composer, Glock, yeah. And he's like, well, you know, this guy, he's really not all. Admittedly, Joseph is kind of cocky. He's pretty cocky, but he proves himself because he's always excellent. And it's like, I know that I can do this. So he wants to become the director of the Palais du Paris, or is it the Palais du France? I think it's the Palais du France, the French theater, French opera, and he wants to become the musical director of that. But because of how society is, they don't want to see him, you know, rise up. And Marie Antoinette, she tells him, she says, well, I said, do you really think that it's possible? He's like, yeah, let me do it. She's like, well, what about, and he's like, it doesn't matter. I can do it. Right. So he challenges Glock, essentially. He challenges Glock, like, look, why don't we battle for it? And Marie Antoinette is like, this is a great idea. So they actually have to come up with their own productions, their own operas, write all their own music, and compete for that position. Lo and behold, who do you think actually got it? They were, they said that Joseph was excellent. They loved his production. He meets this other young lady, also Marie, who is the wife of the Marquis, and he's not fond of Joseph either. Not fond of black people at all. And they have an affair. They fall in love. There's that whole big thing. But when they find out that they find out that they did not win in their production, it's because he's a Negro. And Marie Antoinette is like, she's not budging at all. And he's, Joseph is saying, well, I've defended you in the streets. I've been there for you, and people have, cast terrible things upon your name and have said what they want to do to you and how they want to tear you down. And you can't defend me, not this once. So she says, even as queen, I have limits. And it's like, really? Like, I've been your friend through all of this, and now all of a sudden it's, oh, now I'm just a Negro. I can't do anything for you. It won't look good on my, like, really? It's crazy. And that he was better than Glock. He was better than him. Stop playing. So you see his struggles and how he rises up, and the fact that no matter how high he would rise, they would never let him get to the top. Even when they knew that he was better. There was another opera singer who tried to have an affair with him, who actually put a bad word in and teamed up with the other composer, and he called her out on it at this dinner. He was drunk as I don't know what, but he called her out. Like, I called her a snake and everything. You're past your prime. You knew I'm better than him. And what did she say? I don't care. She says, I know, but I don't care. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know he's better, and yet you don't care still. It doesn't even matter because you're not going to allow someone who doesn't look like you. It's crazy. Crazy. Let me talk about some of the shots in this movie. There's some green screen in there with some of the buildings in the background that you see, but it's not really like jarring. It's kind of like, oh, I mean, it is a little jarring, but not enough to take you out the movie. Because when I noticed it, it's like, huh, okay. The costume design was amazing. Loved all these. I love period pieces like this and going back in like the 1700s and seeing those colonial wares. Like I like that. It's cool. Yeah, and the music, the music tells such a story. Oh, I have been listening to the score non-stop. I cannot stop listening to the score and the soundtrack of this movie. Crazy part is, right, the reason we don't know about this man either, in the beginning, he goes against Mozart. We see Mozart. We get introduced to him. And then out of nowhere, Joseph is like, mind if I play with you? It's like, who says that? And he just walks down the aisle and he comes up, somebody hands him a violin. He gets on stage with him and he is running circles around Mozart. Running circles around him. I mean, outdoing him and winning the crowd completely over. And they love it. They love it. And Mozart's like, who the f is that guy? like, who is this? It's like, I'm Joseph Bologne, Chevalier de Saint George. That's just me, you know? And yeah, like he's not playing around. And just every song put together is amazing. And that's what I was about to get to. So all his work after the French Revolution, all his work was destroyed. Everything he had ever written. It wasn't until many years later where historians actually dug up his music and some of his writings, and they were able to tell this story based off what they had found. There was a lot so much, and he was brilliant. And I'm not one to really jump into classical music like that, but like I could just listen to this soundtrack constantly. Towards the end, there's a piece that's played when he eventually decides to join the revolution. He wanted to stay away from it initially, but after all the betrayals that he was going through, losing the girl that he loved and not really losing, but he lost her. But she was trying to protect him and stay away and not do anything. And so he took it like, oh, you really don't want me. And she told him later on, I was only trying to protect you, but he didn't want to see it that way. He was too upset. He was hurt, which is understandable. I mean, it's like that girl, I loved you. And, the Marquis, her husband, he just wasn't, once he found out, he wasn't going for it. They had a kid together. And what did the Marquis do? Kill the baby. They were like, the baby was much darker than anticipated. Come on, man. And you see the bonds that he has with his mom and how she gives him wisdom. It's kind of rocky between them at first because, he's kind of still living in that high society mindset. Then eventually, as he starts to realize what's going on and the advice that she gives him, he starts to see the truth in things and how the betrayals were just slowly, constantly happening. And how society was essentially, or that high society, those high elites were turning against him, not allowing him to advance the way that they know he could have. He started getting closer to his mom and starting to actually like see what it was like being black in that time. Like he was able to get the best of both. He was able to learn from the high society, but then also learn from the lower class too. And so when there's a part where he actually goes out, there's a party going on with a lot of these Africans. They're just playing some music, having a good old time, making some food, just enjoying themselves. And he's listening and enjoying the music. And eventually he starts playing the drums with them and like just really enjoying their company. And he's like, I've had enough. He sees he really sees what's going on. The people are oppressed in the streets. The elites are doing nothing for them. I mean, like poor white Frenchman, poor black Frenchman, doesn't matter. He was sick of it. So he decided to have a concert in rebellion against Marie Antoinette, who she called him out, said, I will have my guards stop you. They will arrest you. Like I will not allow this to happen. You're not going to taint my name. And he was about to put his old wig on. Man went out in his cornrow, said, screw this. I'm doing this concert the way that I see fit. And he named it Egalite. Freedom. Liberty. Yeah. He was not joking. And so there's a piece that he plays, the piece that he plays for that. And then you hear it as it's like tensions is building. Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so, I forget the name of it. It's killing me. Where's my cellular device? It's nowhere near me. Otherwise I would show you guys the song. It's nowhere near me. Otherwise I will show you the song. Actually, I'll link it. I'll put it in the description below. I'll link the whole soundtrack in there. But once you see the movie, you'll know what song it is. Like once you get the soundtrack, you'll see it. Just play it. You'll know it. Once you hear it, it's like, oh yeah, that one, right? I'm telling you, it's fire. Yeah, man, I love this movie start to finish. Costume design, writing, the acting was great. Kelvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm serious. I would really love at some point to be in a movie with him. I kid you not. Kelvin, if you ever see this video, yeah, man, I'm telling you, I would love to partner up. Even Steffi, if you see this, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it all out there. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being so serious. I really love your work. I love your writing. I love your direction, Kelvin. I love your acting. It's phenomenal. I would love the opportunity to be in a movie with you, to be, directed by Stephen Williams, to have something written by Stephanie. I would love that because like the story, it's just incredible. I never was not taken away from it. I wasn't. I loved it start to finish. There was a point in time where I was like, I felt like things slowed down just a little bit, but then things pick right back up. But it was great. And I love start to finish. And the thing is, I love the fact that we're exploring more of the historical figures, Black historical figures, that we're not just doing the slave movie. Like, stop. Let's talk about people who had these other lasting impacts, who created some of the greatest things known to man. Like, show us those stories. I've been saying for the past several days, because when I was younger, I would read a lot of Benjamin Banneker. I would read a lot on him. But somebody writes a Benjamin Banneker movie, I want to play Benjamin Banneker. I kid you not. Man created a first wooden clock. He designed DC. Like, what? Come on, man. I would love to. Absolutely. Like this, and Chevalier just reminds me of the greatness and the things that we learn about these Black historical figures. Like, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about him. But seeing that what he was able to do against Mozart, seeing how he had to go through that rise to fall, just to rise again, but arise a new creature, so that when the revolution came, he was prepared. He was ready to go, because you treated him so badly. And they ended up losing anyway. Took back over. Freedom, egalite. Give me that. I loved this movie. This is 5 out of 5 full moons. I'm not even joking. Like, the music, I can't get it out of my head. Like, the music tells the story so well. Like, it just elevates everything, and it's so perfectly well. This is my favorite score that I've heard in a while. And I love my movie scores. Trust and believe. There's a lot of great ones. This one right now, I'm going to have this on repeat for a while. Okay, the score and soundtrack is it's a force to be reckoned with. I love it. This is a great movie. Great time in the movies. 5 out of 5 full moons. Go see this when you have a chance. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm glad that you all stopped by. I'll have more reviews and reactions coming soon. I'm working on a project, an audio story And it's going to be great. I've written, I'm directing it, and I'm acting in that. That's going to be great. So I have so much more coming. But guys, thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you. You all have a great evening. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth howl. I'm out of here. Good night to you all. Oh, and the mouse is, oh, geez, it's still going. Y'all go and check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth hell.